Hello everyone, I'm Claire Stewart. Thanks for joining us tonight. School budgets are a hot topic right now, and it's even got some local unions fired up. Members from the Alabama Education Association, United Steelworkers, United Mine Workers, and several other organizations met at Chuck's Fish tonight in downtown Tuscaloosa. They talked about a variety of topics, including possible bills the Alabama legislature will discuss in the coming weeks. WVUA spoke with some local teachers about the recent 3% proration enacted by Alabama Governor Robert Bentley.
The question is how that is going to affect what the legislature calls our dividends in our classroom, the amount of students we have in our classroom, and we'll see how that affects it, but it won't affect our classroom budgets because we currently don't have any.
It's people that, like me, working 38 years that make less than a state legislator who has another job to supplement their income. It's hard to convince me that I should shoulder the whole burden along with the state employees.
One Alabama lawmaker has proposed a bill to push back the start of public schools until August 22nd to improve tourism in coastal regions. Teachers we spoke with tonight say that's a bad idea because that could cut their pay by about $3,000. Well, the Hale County Board of Education has talked about consolidating the schools, specifically closing Hale County High School and Greensboro High Schools, and having all of those students attend one centrally located school. WVUA's Bradley Whittington takes us to a PTA meeting where parents are fired up over this proposed idea.
Tempers flared at the Moundville Elementary PTA meeting tonight. Hundreds of people showed up to voice their opinion because they heard the school board wanted to close Hale County High School.
If the high school is closed down, there will be no growth and there will simply be a vast exodus from here. And that's just the bottom line.
Y'all have issues that should have been addressed behind doors. And it's a lot of anger here, and it's almost starting to ride. So I felt like if y'all have been elected to this position, you all should get together as a board and try to get to some kind of agreement.
School board member Wiley Jones is pushing for changes in the school system. He says it's almost a must because the county commission denied their request for a 1% sales tax increase. But Commissioner David Roger had an explanation.
We did recently deny a tax raise for them by 1%. I was one of the lead persons to block that, and I stand behind what I've done because I am disappointed with this board and the activity that's went on and some of the things that they've done, and I refuse to sit here and tax the citizens of this town to hand money to a board that can't manage their business.
Mayor Joshua Wyatt told the crowd as long as he is Moundville's mayor, Hale County High School will remain open, even if it has to move to another county.
As I broached this topic to him today and asked him what would be the likelihood if this was to happen for our municipality to be annexed into Tuscaloosa County, just to put out as feelers. And Mr. Costanza, the Board of Education Superintendent in Tuscaloosa, said, "Where do I sign? I would love to have Moundville in my area." Before I let you take my high school out, I will take the whole city out of Hale County.
Reporting in Moundville, Bradley Whittington, WVUA News.
Recently, the Hale County Board of Education didn't renew the superintendent's contract, and they're expected to appoint an interim superintendent at their board meeting tomorrow night. Parents tell us they're worried the proposed changes could become a reality if the new superintendent supports the changes. This issue has been brought before the Hale County School Board 3 times, and the members denied it. The Alabama House and Senate could be making some changes that will affect teachers and state employees. The state Senate will vote tomorrow to eliminate the Deferred Retirement Option Program known as DROP. It rewards some state employees and teachers for putting off retirement. The House and Senate will also vote to whether to change the education budget on how much the state has received in tax revenue over the past 15 years. Tourism attractions in Alabama could be getting a big cut from state funding, according to Governor Robert Bentley. Tuscaloosa Tourism Director Robert Ratliff says tourism attractions in Tuscaloosa are not state funded and will see little effects if the tourism budget cut passes state legislation.
We don't get any funding, nor I'm not aware of any attractions in our area that get funding through tourism. The only funding that we've ever received through our state tourism is a matching grant to do maybe a brochure project.
Ratliff predicts many museums across the state will be hit the hardest if the state tourism budget cuts pass. A fire turned deadly yesterday morning. According to Brent Police Chief Terry Nichols, the fire started around 3:30 on Bear Creek Road in Brent. Nichols says 77-year-old Marlon Lagrone died when his camper trailer caught fire. The cause of the fire is still unknown. The Brent Police and State Fire Marshal's Office are investigating. A federal judge sentenced a Tuscaloosa man to 20 years in prison for distributing crack cocaine. 26-year-old Arthur Sidney Pruitt pleaded guilty in October to 2 counts of distributing crack cocaine and 1 count of possessing it with intent to distribute. The judge ordered Pruitt to serve 10 years of supervised release after completing his 20 years in prison. 2 Tuscaloosa men charged with capital murder are free tonight. Tuscaloosa County District Judge Jim Guin has dropped the charges against Willis Woods and LeJerick Hinton. They were among 5 men charged in the death of James Hardaway. Back in January, witnesses say several men inside an SUV exchanged gunfire with 2 other men in front of an apartment in the 500 block of 61st Street. Hardaway was shot while sitting in his home. Officials say Hardaway was not involved in the shooting. According to Judge Guin's office, there was no probable cause against Woods and Hinton. Officials tell WVUA the judge did find probable cause against the other suspects. That means Jabrell McCanney, Devonta Lawson, and Randall McCants will remain in jail. The main suspect in the Natalie Holloway disappearance case is pleading guilty to murder in another case. Joran Vandersloot's lawyer says his client will plead guilty to murdering Stephanie Flores in Peru last May. Attorney Maximo Altez says Vandersloot became enraged and killed Flores because she learned he was associated with Holloway's disappearance. Vandersloot's lawyer says he will argue insanity and use the violent emotion defense to receive a shorter sentence. Vandersloot is charged with first-degree murder, which usually carries a 15 to 35-year sentence, but if his plea is accepted, he would be sentenced to 3 to 5 years in prison. Demopolis police are looking for 2 women accused of using fake money. Demopolis Police Chief Tommy Reese says the women tried to use counterfeit $100 bills at the Diamond Oil Company and Mint Mart in Demopolis. If you have any information about these 2 women, you're asked to call the Demopolis Police Department at area code 334-289-3073. That's 334-289-3073. Your call will remain anonymous. With a first look at Alabama's home team forecast, here's Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott.
Hey Claire, it's getting cold outside again. Temperatures back in the upper 40s, 49 Tuscaloosa, but check out Gadsden right now, upper 30s, closest to freezing anyway. The temperatures in the north and eastern part of the state, and some places up here in the cooler spots could get down there around that 33, 34 degree mark starting off tomorrow morning. Now, the good news is there are a lot of clouds in place, and the reason that's a good thing is that's going to keep our temperatures above freezing for much of west and central Alabama tonight. In fact, early tomorrow morning, I think we'll bottom off somewhere around 40 degrees for a bus stop forecast. Be sure to take that jacket with you. Going to be a cold start to the day, very chilly. It will warm up nicely. Your 7-day forecast is coming up in Maine weather. Stay with us.
Thank you, Richard. The University of Alabama family is remembering the life of a third-year law student. A celebration of ALLISON Bronner's life will be this Thursday afternoon at 2 o'clock at St. Peter's Catholic Church in Montgomery. She's the daughter of David Bronner, the longtime head of Alabama's public pension system. The 25-year-old died last week at her home in Birmingham. Police say she hadn't been feeling well, so family and friends went to check on her. Police say there was no sign of foul play. Investigators are waiting for autopsy results. On the Health Watch, a new study shows spending time using electronics is preventing Americans from getting adequate sleep. The survey by the National Sleep Foundation found 43% of adults rarely get enough sleep during the week. Over 95% of Americans said they consistently use electronics within an hour before going to bed. One doctor at Tuscaloosa Lung and Sleep says one of the biggest things that might keep you up at night is the television.
So the TV should be turned off, and we recommend regularly that TV should be removed from the bedroom. It's not a good idea to have a television in the bedroom because you're tempted to keep watching it till you're able to sleep. And then once you turn it off and go to sleep, you're not going to sleep immediately because you've just been exposed to all this light.
Doctors recommend you avoid electronics at least a few hours before going to bed. Some of you may be planning to get a little more sleep and relax during spring break next week, but before you hit the road for warmer weather, police have some friendly reminders to keep you and your belongings safe. Tuscaloosa police say you should always lock your doors and set the alarm system. If you're going to have any extra cars in the driveway, don't forget to make sure they're locked as well. Take valuable items with you, such as laptops and jewelry, and if you're going to be gone for several days, ask someone to watch your house. Some University of Alabama students are thinking outside the quad and helping one local high school. WVUA's Raquel Walker shows us how these students are mentoring others in this week's Capstone Correspondent Report.
Hi, I'm Capstone Correspondent Raquel Walker, a senior majoring in broadcast news. One psychology class is inspiring local high school students to make a difference inside and outside their school.
Let's make a change!
In UA's Youth Development Psychology class, students are motivating Holt High School students to recognize problems in their school and around their community. Social psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Parker says he wants his students and the Holt High School students to learn how to recognize a problem, consider the skills and resources for a solution, but most importantly, understand the true meaning of community service. UA students say they are more than happy to mentor.
I think it's definitely, it goes both ways. Like, I've never done anything like this before, so I'm learning how to be a leader myself when I'm actually teaching them, you know? So I think it helps me more, just as much as it helps them.
The youth development class is working on various projects within the Holt community and are in need of volunteers. If you would like to pitch in, email Dr. Jeffrey Parker at jgparker@ua.edu. If you would like to see the University of Alabama through the eyes of a student, go to WVUATV.com. I'm Capstone Correspondent Raquel Walker for WVUA News.